Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lolita, and today we're going to be discussing 5 tricks to make people respect you. Now, you can't force somebody to respect you, but we can definitely cheat the system together. So let's go. So the first pillar that I have here on my iPad is to take pride in your appearance. As you can see, for example, even with me, I come onto YouTube and I wear what I want to wear and things that suit me. Just like when you go out into the street or out into public, when you dress as your best self, and I'm not saying wearing stuff that is uncomfortable or doing this new style that you don't know how to do. No, I want you to go and take pride in your appearance, brushing your teeth, washing your face, putting that deodorant on, putting that cologne on, putting on a decent outfit. Because when you go outside and people see you in a nice outfit or just in an outfit that you look comfortable in, people are going to respect you more. People are going to do things for you. People are going to say hello. People are going to open up the door for you. Even metaphorically, in many ways, doors open up for you because you literally look like you respect yourself. That is the first overall layer of all of this. If you feel like every time you walk into a room that people don't go and glance and look at you, sometimes maybe your energy just does not fit that room. There are many other rooms that you might be fitted into. However, when you go into a room feeling like your best self. And even if you're not feeling like your best self that day in particular, but you have on an outfit that not only represents you, but something that you really, really like, it's going to really help you and in your overall goal of having people respect you. If you go outside all the time and you're wearing sweatpants and hoodies or stuff with holes in it, do you think people are going to respect you? No, they're going to call you a bum, for example. Or maybe like if you go and you compare some of the Yeezy wear, like the original Yeezy with the baggy clothes and all that baggy streetwear, there's some people in certain environments and settings that aren't going to like what you're wearing and not going to talk to you because they're going to assume, oh, this person doesn't take pride into their appearance, so why would I show that same type of effort or kindness or respect back to them? I think with respect, the first thing is about how you look and how you address yourself. And honestly, what goes along with this is fitness. One thing you can say, and you can try to fight me against it or not, but one thing you can't take away from someone is muscles. You can't take away clean hair, decent looking hair, having a nice outfit. But seriously, being and setting yourself up into situations where you're constantly bettering yourself by, for example, going to the gym, doing yoga, going for walks, going for runs. Once people see your body, you can't fake your body. That is your body, and you get more respect because it looks like you work out. It looks like you take effort into your opinion. You can't fake muscles. Okay, you can't fake smelling good. There are certain things that will help you level up and get more respect because people are like, damn, they take pride in their appearance, they look decent. And you know what's funny? A good example of this is when you see like a ugly guy with a pretty girl. And for me, like a good example of that would be like Don Tolliver and Kelly Uchis. They're a beautiful couple, okay? No hate going out to them. However, a lot of people are like, damn, how could he go out? How could she go out with this cockroach looking man? Like he's so ugly. Well, number one, do you ever see Don Tolliver in an ugly fit? Like I'm talking about, do you ever see him looking bad? No. Two, he has money. I mean, money, it helps, okay? That's not the most important factor. And three, it's the way that he treats Kali Uchis, okay? He gives her respect. When you have all these things, you might not be the best looking man on earth, but if you respect the people around you, you carry yourself nice and neat, and you respect others, and you have money, you have some affluence in some type of way, people are going to respect you. Or even regardless of respect, people are going to just be more attracted to you in general. So you should always level up your appearance and take pride into your appearance, because with your appearance, that's the first impression someone gets of you, even if they don't have a conversation with you. Even if somebody sees you walking down the street every day, they know, oh, I always see this person with nice clothes on or a decent outfit on. I know this is I know this is a proper person. It is really important to think about your appearance and to find things that are tailored for you, and to make sure every day when you wake up, you think that, I am getting ready for myself, but I know that when I brush my teeth, I know that when I shower, I smell good, I put on nice clothes, that the world is going to reflect that goodness back to me. Honestly, that's just how it is. You are a mirror of the world. The world mirrors what's inside of you. So whatever you put out, is what you're going to get in return. Okay. And not a lot of people know that. So I'm telling you now, I'm putting you on game because obviously that's why you're here. All right, so the next pillar we're going to go ahead and get into is treating people with kindness. We actually rubbed up on this topic a little bit. Over here sounding like Diddy. What do I mean I rubbed up on it? But anyways, when you treat people with kindness, that is instantly good karma. Okay, you could be a bad person, but when you go outside and you see a server, or if you see somebody who's homeless, you give them money, or if you see the server and you're nice to them, you leave them a good tip. You don't give them more pressure when they're already like serving like five other tables plus you're not adding on to that stress. When you see a woman walking down the street, you say hello and you're not a creep, you're not catcalling her. Or if you see somebody about to go into an establishment and you're walking out, you open up the door for them. Simple acts of kindness just like that, people see the energy of that is getting put out into the universe. If you don't believe in the universe, God sees that. If you don't believe in God, then I don't know. But all that energy that you put out that is positive always comes back to you. And for me, I live in a small town. So obviously, we all see each other. We be outside and all that stuff. I can't go up to somebody or somebody can't come up to me and tell me that I'm disrespectful because I always treated people with respect around town, so they treat me the same way. It'd be some crazy hillbillies over here with guns and stuff like that, but you think they're gonna bother me? No, because every time I see somebody, even when I'm walking down the street, I crack a smile. That right there is like, that makes people respect you so much more because you don't feel like you're above somebody. Yeah, you might be above somebody in status, or you might be, like I'm saying, affluent, or you might have a better house or a car than them, like a better overall environment, but that doesn't mean you should treat them differently than any other human. And that's something that a lot of people forget when it comes to getting respect. You can't want respect from people when you don't treat other people with respect. I always do, okay? You might catch me acting out of character because you got me out of character, but never be that type of person to not go out your way for somebody, even if it's like a simple little task, because respect is given to where it's due. You can't ask the world for respect and you don't respect the other organisms and all these beings within it. And that goes for nature too, like littering. I get a cigarette butt, whatever, okay? But when it comes to straight up just littering, like throwing trash out your window, or what, like going ahead and like throwing oil on a tree, like things like that. And I know it's like crazy examples, but how can you want the earth to give back to you and you're not giving back to it? Okay, it just doesn't make any sense. Like literally, it just doesn't. Like treating people and things and beings with kindness is always going to be the way to win at the end of the day, to get that respect that you want, because like I said, respect is due where it is given. Okay, like seriously, how do you think, for me, if I want to network with other people and I want people to respect me within the YouTube world, I am going to treat people with respect. When somebody gives me criticism, even, I'm not going to take it and be nasty to them. Hey, unless they're being nasty to me. But still, you don't want to stoop down to people's levels. But you know what I mean. If I want a positive outcome, I have to treat people with kindness and treat the things around me with kindness. God or the universe or whatever, they're not going to give you more if you're not appreciative of what you already have. And I think people just forget about that when it comes to respect. You have to respect other people. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but it's the truth. I see people all the time who are rich and famous who don't respect their workers at all. And you hear that type of stuff come out in the press. But then you see the people who are rich and famous who treat their workers with respect, who pay their workers. You don't hear complaints about that. And you see them in their life in many aspects are literally growing and is flowing with abundance because they treat people how they're supposed to be treated and not how you think they're supposed to be treated. Because you might not think karma is real, but it is. When you go and you ghost somebody, that's karma. You're going to get ghosted one day and you're going to feel that same effect. If you cheat on somebody, you're eventually going to get cheated on too. Because listen, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Not in every situation, no. So that is just to wrap that part up with treating people with kindness. Like just think of the Harry Styles song every single time you're about to be mean to somebody for no reason. Like, come on. Like, come on. All right, so the next pillar and the other trick of the trade is to not let people walk all over you. Okay, do not let people walk all over you. And what I mean by this is to set boundaries. I'm not saying you have to be the strictest person in the world, but let's say somebody calls you out your name, somebody calls you a bitch. Are you a bitch? No, you're not a bitch. So guess what? Since you're not a bitch, you're going to tell them, hey, don't talk to me like that. Don't be that way with me. Don't disrespect me. And if they do it again, pull yourself out that situation. Stop talking to that person. Sometimes not everybody has to come with you on the other side. Some people, places, and things you have to leave where they're at, so that you can level up and get to the next level. Okay? Like, people don't know that. Like, I don't care if this is your boyfriend going on for a year now, and this is the first time he's ever treated me mean. Okay, if he continues to call you a bitch, call you out your character, even if it's just a friend, you don't have to talk to these people. You don't have to suffer in a situation that you don't want to be in. Remember that you have free will before you try to go and suffer in a situation that you don't need to be in. Okay? So setting boundaries could, like, it doesn't have to be so aggressive like that too, like as somebody calling you out your name. It could be people doing things that you respectfully ask them not to do. Tell them again and affirm what you just said. Tell them, I don't appreciate you doing this thing. Can you not do it again? If they still don't want to do it, you don't have to get out of character. You don't have to act all crazy. You simply step back and let them. I don't know if you ever heard of the let them theory, but to sum it up to make it real easy is, okay, your boyfriend's not responding to you. So instead of being a nag, you let him. Don't respond. I'm gonna go be busy with my girls. I'm gonna go be busy building my empire for the future. Or it's the same thing, vice versa. Your girl is outside going clubbing, even though you told her that's crossing my boundaries. Let her go mind your business. When it's boys' night, don't bother to hit her up while you're at your boys' night. Okay, and that's not even being disrespectful. Sometimes you have to let people do what they have to do and not try to force things to happen. And that's just a part of setting boundaries, is that you have to let certain people go. Just let them do what they got to do. Because if these people aren't meant to be with you for the long term, they will show their character, to show their colors right then and there. Most of the time for me, and you might think like this is a little silly, I know who somebody is and how they really are as a person within the first like couple minutes of them talking to me and a couple minutes of them just interacting with me. I know what type of person they are. I know this is if this is a person who's going to respect me or not in the long term. I know if this is a person who's going to be disrespectful and not care about me and how I feel. Sometimes, like, having a clear mind of discernment, not just like being strict with your boundaries, just having discernment when it comes to people and not expect everybody to treat you the same way that you want to be treated. Sometimes with certain people, they put on a facade and they'll keep putting up this facade for a while, and sometimes the facade can stay up for a couple weeks or a couple months, but once it drops and you see who they really are as a person, this applies to friendships and relationships, you don't gotta stay. Put them boundaries up. Okay, you can go deuces and halas. Like, not everybody's supposed to come with you on the other side. And I wish more people knew that. Like, to be respected is to let people know your boundaries, and not only let them know, put them in place and set them and use them when needed. You don't want people walking all over you, because that sets an example for the next people to come back in your life. Like I'm telling you about karma. Karma. If you, for example, like for me, when I talk to guys, for example, they'd be like, oh, come over to my house. Why am I going to your house on the first meet? I already know where this is going. This is going to be a lustful relationship. Even if it doesn't get to that point of relationship, I know you're moving out of lust. But if a guy, for example, says, hey, let me go and take you out on a date and then we can see where that goes, then I know that he's putting forward that effort. He's not moving just off of lust. He could be. He could be now. I'm not saying that doesn't exempt him, but he's putting in that effort. He's not starting off with something so obvious. And sometimes people need to stop ignoring the signs when they see people act a certain way. Just because she's your best friend or he's your buddy doesn't mean they're not a walking red flag. Okay, like, come on now. I don't care if you've been knowing these people for years and years and years. You keep crossing my boundaries just like this, I'm gonna get out your life. I don't care. And maybe that's the reason why I don't have friends right now either. Like, I just rather not have people who cross my boundaries, people who are envious of me. Like, you have to put your foot down, lock the door, and throw away the key, and don't open it back up. Okay, just no, no. Okay, so this next pillar, aka our next trick, is to focus inwards. Sometimes people aren't always worried about you. Like, you might think, or just overthink or ask people questions like, oh my God, do you think this person liked me? The fact that you have to go and ask somebody else if somebody likes you or get a second opinion and this and that, that shows that you're not confident in your decision making. You're not confident into determining how people are and how they truly interact with you. If you were very confident in what you had going on, you'll be focusing inwards and being like, okay, well, if this person likes me, or if this is my first meetup with a person, or this is a new friend, they'll continue to make the effort to communicate with me and they will continue to respect me. Sometimes you have to think of the world as not just this whole big world, this whole wide world of experiences. Sometimes you have to focus inward and think about the things that you want and not just what other people want. Sometimes you have to listen, well, all the time, listen to your intuition and not your ego. And you might be like, okay, how do I know the difference between my intuition versus my ego? Okay, let's set the scene. I'm at the club, okay? At the club, we all fam. We at the club with our fam, right? And somebody comes up to you and just starts talking to you. And all of a sudden, like, they're like, oh, do you want to come back to my apartment? Your ego is going to be like, oh, yeah, I want to go to this stranger's apartment because I can. Like, I have something to prove. This is going to be a part of the plot. But your intuition is like, I don't really know you, and I'm about to just walk into your life and be probably intimate with you, most likely see you only in a point of lust, and then after we're done with this meetup, I'm not even going to get what I deserve because this meetup didn't start where it's supposed to be. Like, sometimes you have to focus on yourself and listen to your intuition. When your intuition is telling you don't do it, you don't do it. You don't have to keep forcing yourself through things and situations and people. No, sometimes you have to stop questioning outwards and start questioning inwards. Be like, hey, do I like this person? Do you think it's worth it to put my life at risk and going to somebody's house who I don't really even know? Like, you have to think, like, what are these possibilities? Okay, you have to take your judgment seriously and not always focus on what everybody else thinks and everybody else's opinions, because at the end of the day, we're getting grown. And I know I'm a young girl, but there are certain decisions that our parents can't make for us. There's decisions we have to make on our own. If you have to gamble and to, like, go back and forth with yourself in your brain to do things, then you're not going to be a strong-minded person that people are going to respect, because they know that you have to constantly ask for a second opinion to do things. Like, you have to ask yourself. For example, if you're very friend and family oriented, instead of being like, oh, hey, what do you think I should eat? Do this as an example. Find out what you want to eat. Don't be focused on, oh, what do you think I should eat? I don't know what I want. Make certain decisions on your own without having to worry about them so much. It shouldn't be a battle in your brain just to do certain things. Or, if you are in a toxic relationship with somebody, you shouldn't be in your head going back and forth like, should I break up with this person? Should I make a pros and cons list? By the way, if you have to make a pros and cons list to break up with someone, you should just break up with them, because it shouldn't be that much work. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to focus inwards and you have to put yourself on a pedestal and not put anybody else on that same pedestal. You can't expect people to treat you how you treat others, because it's just not going to happen. Yes, there's going to be certain people who walk into your life who do treat you that way, which is fine. But not everybody is going to be coming from that same place and have such a good heart as you do. And you have to be aware of that. It's not being selfish, it's not being cocky, but focusing, you know what? Be selfish. Sometimes you have to be. You just focusing inwards, you're focusing on yourself, you're not worried about a million things. Or, for example, your friends be like, oh, do you want to come and get drinks? If you know you're tired, you just got off of a shift, you don't want to be really bothered with people, don't force yourself to do something, or don't force yourself to go to your friend's birthday drinking dinner. It's not really even a dinner, it's just y'all getting blacked out. Who's getting blacked out first, okay? Like, come on. If you don't want to do these things, you don't have to do any of them. Like, literally, you do not. You just put your big girl drawers on or put your big boy boxers on and you say no. You don't have to let people make decisions for you or force you into doing something. You just don't. Focus inwards and know that this is my life. I take responsibility for my actions. And I know that as I continue through this life, I'm responsible for me and nobody else. Okay, so once you start focusing inwards and realizing that there's more things to this life than what other people think, or comparing yourself to where other people are, and instead of focusing on yourself and your wants and your goals and your needs, that's when things start to unravel and people can see your determination and not having to be weary and wandering to other parts of and places of your life. They know that you're straightforward and you have tunnel vision and you know what you want. And that gives you the most respect, honestly. Because for me, I used to feel like I wasn't respected. But when I looked in the mirror, I didn't even respect myself. I let myself go physically. I wasn't doing the things that I used to do with my hair, with my makeup. I took other people's opinions, not just with a grain of salt, but I took them to heart. But you have to remember that if you wouldn't want to be living their life and they're not where you want to be at in life, then don't take their opinion like so harshly. You got to push them to the side and be like, you know what? I know what I want. I know what I want to do, and I'm going to do this because I'm confident and I respect myself, and I know I don't have to sit in certain situations. Okay? Okay, so the final trick slash pillar, okay, on how to get people to respect you is to learn how to communicate better. Once you learn how to communicate better and use that throat chakra, open that thing up, don't just sit in situations because you think it's going to make somebody else comfortable. It's okay. They'll be fine with being uncomfortable. Do what you have to do and do it as good as you need to do it. And a part with communication is not just about like always constantly keeping up with people, but it's about saying what you want and saying what you need without shame or judgment, without people questioning you, or at least because that's in your head. But just being yourself and being confident and opening up your mouth and saying what you want. A lot of people don't have certain things in this life because they don't open up their mouth and say what they want. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this quote from the Bible, but a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And that's seriously how it is. If you want this guy or if you want this girl, you have to go up and talk to them. If you want to, let's say, leave the bar because you're tired and you don't want to keep drinking, say, hey, I'm going home. I don't want to do this. Sometimes you got to open up that throat chakra and you got to say what you got to say.
Right, because P. Diddy be wanting the body, and you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
Don't be afraid to communicate how you feel. And if somebody tries to invalidate your feelings, you just know from there that you don't have to be there and you don't have to be a part of their support system because obviously they're not a part of yours. Some people, like I said, you got to leave in the past, especially if you're communicating with them thoroughly about your boundaries, your needs, and your wants. Okay? Like, you just don't have to be so concerned and oriented around certain people, places, and things. But back on point, back on point. But when you just have better communication skills, certain situations just aren't going to happen because you're able to open up your mouth and be like, hey, I'm just not going to do this. I don't feel like doing that. I'm good. Don't worry about it. Or, like, for example, when you're spending a night at a friend's house and they ask if you're hungry, tell them you're hungry. That's like a good example. Like, you got to open up your mouth when it comes to certain things and just even in situations where people might be crossing your boundaries, like just open that mouth up. Pause. Anyway, but yeah, guys, I really hope my tricks and all these different pillars helped you because I know this type of stuff, it helped me. And that was basically the foundation of just becoming a better version of myself, to understand that to have respect and be respected, you have to have respect for yourself. You have to look in the mirror and you take pride in your appearance, yourself, your beliefs, your thoughts, and your wants, and not let anybody's opinions or anybody themselves stand in the way from where you're destined to be in this life. Don't let people just do what they want or walk all over you. You got to put your foot down. You don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to do nothing horrible. Just be you and be open and be honest. Open up that throat chakra, okay? But of course, thank you so much for watching. This is a little bit of an extended video because I just had a lot to say, but I love just sitting down and talking to you guys and letting you guys listen to what I have to say. And if you have any type of topics or any situations that you have personally going on, you can, of course, use this comment section as a safe place to open up because I'm not going to judge you. Okay, look at me. You think I'm going to judge you? No, I really don't care. But if you have any topic in particular that you want to talk about, don't be shy to comment it down below, okay? anything you want to talk about. It could be with relationships, it could be anything, really, school, it could be any aspect of life. I am willing to answer and sit down and do a video on it, because why not? I mean, I have nothing to lose, only have everything to gain. But of course, thank you so much for watching. If you really enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a like, a share, a subscribe. Okay, hit that subscribe button for me, please, because I know you want to see more of my videos. So I don't know what you got going on, but you finna click. And in my description, if you want to catch up with me where I am during the week, my Instagram and my TikTok is linked down below so you can see what I got going on. But of course, have a good day, make the right choices, open up that throat chakra, communicate, don't let people walk over you. Don't don't let them. Okay? Let them, but don't let them. Okay, but enough of my silliness. Have a good day. I love you guys. Bye.